Your eyes don't deceive you. MCOC news is back, and we're back with a small, minute kind of bang, more like a fizz, in that I've freshened up a few things, as you can see. So that's great. It's nice to have a little bit of a fresh paint job now and again. I will be doing a full revamp in January when I redo my studio / office, as there's so many technical problems with the channel that I need to get new stuff. That's life. Anyway, we got news, and we've got so many kind of cool little stories and one dire story, but let's just get into it and kind of cover these things. Our first story is Marvel Insider. Guys, it's come as the bearer of bad news that they are clamping down on the non-US residents that are having accounts with Marvel Insider. It's disappointing. Mine has been completely kind of taken down. It's been deactivated. That is a problem for kind of announcing stuff as it goes. It was something that I did expect to come at some point, but I think it's largely because I follow Marvel support, and I kick up a fuss now and again about people not getting points and being a kind of liaison, that they finally went, hey, your Twitter profile says you're in the UK, therefore you're from the UK, therefore you can't have a Marvel Insider account. That's a bit annoying. However, like I said, it was coming. I'll probably make another account and just announce stuff from time to time and say, you know, this is coming in, this is not coming in. I'm not going to out anybody. I'm just going to like report on it and what's going on. But it's a bit of a shame, but life goes on. Our second story is Seatin did a fantastic write-up on Reddit, as well as a fantastic video with regards to stuff that's coming into the game in future content, maybe next year as well, especially with Infinity Wars. A lot of things have been reported with Alliance Wars in this post and this video, so do check out both the video and both the Reddit post as well, because it does offer a great insight into the way we work with developers in future, some other stuff with regards to characters and kind of stuff that maybe we wouldn't get to know about because they can't really announce it, because it looks a bit sad if you say, hey, Carnage was meant to be a lot better than he is, but he's crap. So you can't really go and announce that kind of thing. Our next bit of news is the round 2 for Iceman is just being ridiculous with regards to like ping-ponging the kind of results. We're seeing scores, and these are very early reports, of 3.2 million to get Iceman. And it's like, if that was the case, I would have gone for him on the midweek. But obviously, all this is guesswork. So, you know, I'm not too salty about it. I know that this will happen. One day I will get an Awakening, or I use my generic Awakening gem on him. But at the same time, like, 3.2 mil. If we kind of clock back to the time of like the basic releases, and we look at this guy, and he was going for like 6.8 mil. Other kind of main champions that are go-to champions are usually going for about 6.8 mil when they're put into the basic. So it is a bit disappointing to kind of see these proportional issues with kind of getting champions. It just goes to show you that you'll have to do the midweek as opposed to the weekend with regards to the grind of the points, because most people will be, you know, off school, off work, and the weekends when they grind. So midweek is always open for it. Obviously, leave your kind of comments in the below about what do you think about these kind of cutoffs. Are they getting too ridiculous? Why should they be really kind of stipulated midweek? Should we have a cutoff point and everyone wins it? There's so many kind of arguments with this, which I think will be ongoing for many, many months and maybe even years, as long as the game is still going. Our next story, and not to kind of like promote myself in any kind of way, but hey, I'm going to promote myself in some sort of way. I did a video on the Infinity Wars event. Not from a point that I know anything, but a point about characters and champions that could be added into the game, and just like talking about the comic book side of things and the source material. It's a very kind of informative video, and if you are interested in watching it, then I'll put a link in the description to it. I thought, well, as we've got the information from Seatin, fantastic information, he's talking about a curveball character as well as the event on the whole. I thought, well, you know, I'm just going to add a little bit extra to that and kind of talk about maybe the champions and characters, as I said, that could be implemented into the game next year to correlate with the release of Infinity Wars the movie and also the event in game. Obviously, we're still in problems with regards to Alliance Quest. Now, I didn't cover this because MCC News needed to take a break and revamp, and now that we're back, yeah, it's a bit disappointing that we haven't had this kind of fixed a lot sooner. Obviously, a lot of the team have been away at New York Comic Con, and it is one of these things where, you know, should a chunk of the development team go over, to Kabam not have sufficient amount of staff to kind of then say, right, this half as a kind of community, do we need to send developers? again, it's very hard to kind of determine what the kind of the lay of the land with that. But there is a kind of upside to this in that everybody is going to get the same rewards they had last time. This time, I'm a bit annoyed because I do like my map 5 crystals and my map 6 crystals. So having to settle for 3s and 4s is pretty darn kicking the nuts worthy. Because, you know, you need those better stuff out of those crystals. That's the only thing. You know, I've had some great pulls out of them. So have my alliance members. So I think maybe there should be something with regards to appropriate compensation in some ways for that. Unless people go, no, you're not getting anything. And it's like, okay, fine, I see that. But we need rank up materials now more than ever than we did, say, about a year ago or maybe more. So maybe give everyone else about 20 map 5 crystals, and we won't talk anything more about it, you know what I mean? And our final story comes from the forum. This is by Cosmic Ray 13, and it's a little post called Biggest Mistakes. I quite liked it. I think it was quite nifty, and a lot of people have responded well to it, as well as kind of like talking about it. So it's nice to enter a dialogue about people's mistakes in game. He says, put 1 biggest mistake that you've made in the game, so 1, we can cringe, and 2, we can learn from each other's mistakes. A great little post, a great little addition to community feedback with regards to each other. So I quite like that, and a lot of people kind of responded, as I said, very well to it, and there's lots of kind of nice little comments there. People are just talking nicely, and it's great. It's nice to see this. Keep it up, guys. These little ideas, nice little dialogues between people, getting good community vibe. So that has been MCOC News. If you enjoyed it, then make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Go to the links in the description for the stories and give your feedback. The next thing is that I'm going to look to revamp MCOC News in the new year. So it's going to be a different format in some ways and different way I deliver it. The other thing is that I'm going to do cutaway gags. I've asked a few YouTubers, The Analyzer, Dork Lessons, Seatin, and Brian Grant so far to do cutaway gags. So I've given them some stuff to do, some dialogue, and hopefully that kind of comes to fruition, and I can then add it on to MCOC News. Real nice things that's just going to make you laugh and kind of like a little bit more enjoyment with it. So hopefully you're going to enjoy that in future, and hopefully they come through. So yeah, make sure to put notifications on and all the kind of fancy jargon with that. I'll be live streaming next week, and yeah, thanks very much, and I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.